David Viscott, and we're back. Who do we have?
We have Al. He's on line B, and he's been abducted.
Abducted? Al?
Hello, Doc.
Hi, Al.
How you doing?
I'm good, Al. How old are you?
I'm 45, Doc.
What's this abducted?
Me and my family were, all of our lives, we've been a pioneer family living in the wilderness. And about 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, we were all asleep, and a light came down and illuminated the whole house to the point that you couldn't even see the walls. And some figures come into the room and lifted me out of my body, not out of my bed. And I screamed, and all of a sudden I just shot back in my body. And then I told my wife about it. I woke her up because I was like in cold sweats. So she said, well, it's just a bad dream. So we went back to sleep, and it happened again, except this time they got me. And they took me outside and
Where did they touch you?
Pardon?
Where did they touch you?
Well, there was no touching at first. It was just like they just picked me up or something.
How did they pick you up?
With I don't really know. I don't know how they got me up and how they floated me out, except it seemed like they were carrying me, but I couldn't feel them touching me because I was scared to death.
Okay. What did they look like?
They were shadowy figures the first time I saw them. Later on, when it happened again, and it happened to the rest of my family, it's like the standard alien story, except there's not just one kind. It's not like just the one kind with the big black eyes.
What was the other kind like?
Well, there was some tall ones, and there was some that wore robes, and there was some that looked like robots, that looked like they were beads strung together for legs and arms and the body and the head.
Okay. The tall ones that looked like the ones with big eyes, they were also big eyes, right?
Yes.
Did they seem to be in control?
No, there was a figure in like you would think of a Merlin coat with a hood on it that was controlling everything.
Okay, did you see the face?
I could barely make the face out. The trouble of it is, the terror of it
was amazing.
Is amazing. And as I try to bring the pictures forward, I get sick. I've thrown up a couple times, but just in the last year, something's happened. I'm a partner and an artist, and I woke up one day and everything changed. I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. I couldn't touch a brush. I couldn't eat. I got where I couldn't be in a dark room, and then all of a sudden, I got so down that like I would just blow up with my kids over the least little thing and just go in a rage, and then I would sit down and start crying and
you say they were.
And it's just tearing my life up.
You said they were abducted as well.
Yes.
Are they going through any of these symptoms too?
Well, the two oldest or the three oldest kids are out of the family now, and they just kind of put us aside, except for my 16-year-old. Now, my two little ones said that strangers was carrying them out of their room, and one of them thought they were demons, and he was waking up at night screaming and telling me about these demon faces he was seeing in the wall and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that went on for years and years.
What about the 16-year-old?
The 16-year-old is the one that had probably the best experience because he actually saw the craft, but he won't talk about it. At the time, he talked about it. But now, he don't want to talk about it. My wife ran out of the room when I called you. She said, don't put me on the phone, and, you know.
All right, do you remember being in the craft?
Yes.
Okay, what was that like?
The craft was big. It had bumps on domes, several domes on it with protrusions like spikes. And when they turned the machine on, the craft would become invisible. It would be just, we lived out in the desert. You couldn't even tell it was there in the daylight. But when the thing wasn't running, you could see it. It was bizarre.
Did they do any medical tests on you?
I don't know. All I know is that whatever happened has left me kind of empty inside. But I have something in my arm. It's long and thin. You can feel it. You can push it around. It's starting to get meat growing up around it.
What do you mean?
Well, like soft tissue. Over the years, it's built up around it. At one time, it was just like a toothpick almost under there.
Does anyone else in the family have this?
I haven't checked anybody. We all had bloody noses for a long time, and
bloody noses.
Yeah.
All of you.
Pardon?
All of you.
All of us, yeah.
Do you have any recollection of anything being inserted in your nose?
I don't have a recollection of it, but I have like the feeling of it, if
A
you know what I
sense
mean.
of fullness in your nose?
Yes, and I got a big old round thing on one nostril right in there. You can feel it like a little bump. I don't know what it is. It's just on one side.
Boy, you sound like an abducted family.
Well, all I know is it's tearing my life up.
Okay. I'm going to give you the name of a person. I want you to write this down.
Okay, let me get a pencil here.
But you need to, have you had hypnosis?
I've never had anything. I didn't ever want anything, really, you know, but it's just, I kept listening to you for 2 years, and I finally got the courage up to call you tonight.
Well, you may be a breakthrough case because they've been waiting for someone who has a noticeable implant.
Well, I got something in my arm, and I don't know.
I think you all may have something in the nasopharynx.
Well, there's something in our sinuses.
That's what they're looking for.
You can feel it, and
Does your wife have that feeling as well?
yes, and she had the bloody noses, and
Do your kids feel that as well?
well, I don't know because it's real hard to. The only ones that are with me now is my 16, 14, 9, and 11-year-old.
They have thousands of people with this experience, and each of them has some degree of amnesia. And when they put the pieces back together again, there is a pattern that appears to be the same. Do you remember anyone presenting you with babies?
No, but they jacked me off.
They did.
Yes.
That does happen. They do an operation on your wife?
I don't know. She won't talk about it.
Okay.
She just will not talk. She just.
All right. All of these things sound bizarre, and my audience thinks this is crazy, but thousands of people have had this experience. Very few have had it in a group like this, and all of the things that are being described have been described before, and there is very strong evidence that there are people from extraterrestrial sources who are collecting genetic material and starting a sub-race. I know that sounds amazing. The person for you to contact is Dr. David Jacobs, professor of sociology, Temple University, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tell him you spoke to me. He was a guest on my radio show on KABC. He wrote a book called Secret Lives.
I've always tried to stay away from reading about that stuff because it makes me sick to read about it.
I understand it, but his book, Secret Lives, is something you should pick up.
Okay. About this? Why am I changing? Why I don't recognize
I don't know, but some people go through profound changes like this, and you want to be in touch with this man. He has support groups. He has all kinds of help for you.
Okay.
But you really need help with this.
It's in Temple
University, Philadelphia. The book is called Secret Lives. Pick up a copy of it.
What, I write him a letter?
I would write him a letter and leave your phone in it.
Okay.
But the point is they're going to want to get a hold of these implants.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I mean, you may be the breakthrough case that they've been waiting for.
Well, I don't know. There's more to this story. I may give them a breakthrough they're not ready for.
What do you mean there's more to this story?
I shot one of them. Now, I know you're not going to believe this. I know you're not going to believe it. I shot one of them, and they landed him. They click-clacked into my front yard at the end of the driveway, and I shot one of them and knocked him over, and two others ran over and picked him up. It's not just this is something that went on for 12 weeks, Doc. We couldn't even get out of the house.
Okay, stay on.
They got no business messing with people. See,
I believe that's correct. I want you to stay on the line and give your name and number to our screener and get in touch with David Jacobs.
Okay, Doc.
Do that.
Thanks
I want to know
for talking to me. I appreciate it. I know how crazy this sounds.
Hey, I believe you.
It makes you like a maniac. That's why we've never talked about it.
I believe you.
You're the first person I've ever had the courage to talk to about it.
I've never heard anyone getting one of them before, but you must be a good shot. You take care. Holy cow.
That's incredible.
I don't want to get you terrified, but something is going on. I told you this show is different than other shows, but, you know, it's just what's in your head. It's just what's in our world. I'll see you next time.